I know we're recording, but I'm just gonna finish my story.
Welcome to the podcast.
So he had like a grenade, and there's like a kid saying like "Hi, soldier" or something. He's like, "Hey, you want to play with our grenade?"
No.
And he just throws it on the ground, and then it explodes, and like it turns out it was just like a stun grenade or something. It was a real grenade,
just a stun.
but it was
grenade.
but
like a flash or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Anyway,
Dude, I don't click on those
he
anymore.
only lost his retina. Yeah, it's fine.
He's not-
One of his eardrums were blown out.
Half his
Don't worry.
face
I think the
really-
kid thought it was awesome before the mom screamed.
Is this going to be the Christmas episode? You
I think so.
or-
Okay, now we're starting for
I've
real.
Seen, I've seen too many of those videos. I've seen too much on the internet these days.
Welcome to the Safety Third podcast. Don't click on the links. They don't differentiate between them usually too. It's just a NSFW. They don't. Do they do the
No,
SL anymore?
Yes.
Oh, they do
And
that.
Those ones I try to scroll past.
Yeah,
very
those,
quickly.
I don't like that.
Those are those are tagged by the person itself. There's not like a Reddit wide NSFL.
Yeah, I think the mods sometimes
Mods
do
will-
it. Yeah.
but they'll keep it there.
but it's not like the red NSFW tag,
is.
is it? Oh, really? There's
I
a
think so.
FL one. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just see Reddit.
I don't know.
Click
Don't go
Yeah,
to
I
those
know.
places.
I just
I know.
click it. If I see the red little logo, click.
It's an automatic click for you.
Well, but then it could also be boobs.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about
Wait,
those.
there was that
Yes,
subreddit, right? It was
50-50.
like
50-50.
50-50
yeah, is
Yeah.
that what it
has
was? Okay.
ruined
Yeah.
my day more than once.
Not a good.
It's like,
place.
is this a bunny? Let's see. Oh, it's a guy still breathing after having half of his face shot
But they
off
would
by a
just
shotgun.
describe it
Nice.
verbally. It would be described. No, it was two. What would they do? It was two
No,
titles.
It's two titles. It's blurred out,
Yeah.
and it's either bunny or guy still alive after having
Yeah.
half his
I
face
feel like
blown
it
off.
wasn't actually 50-50.
It was always.
I've won that lottery a couple times. There were
Yeah.
some cute little bunnies on there.
I feel like it was less
But
than
other
50-50 though.
The upside did not equate to the downside.
No.
The downside was
The upvotes
I'm
were
still
biased.
haunted by some things that
Yeah.
I've read and seen.
The internet's a bad place.
Yeah,
The
I'm-
real world's worse though, because that's where the stuff from the internet comes
Yeah, yeah.
from.
Oh, God.
Log off.
I-
Go outside.
Can you imagine like the?
Is this are we?
This
Yeah.
is it. This is it.
This is
This is
it.
literally it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We
then
don't
about
we
a
don't
couple
have
minutes
topics
in, we'll
or-
introduce our guest.
Yeah.
Well, now that we remember, we should just do
yeah,
it.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. Welcome
All
to
right.
Safe Third Podcast. This is our special guest.
Hi.
This is the majestic Kyle Hill.
Majestic. The singular reason that Alan is not a Mythbuster.
Yeah. Oh my God. You're right. We have not really talked about.
We haven't ever talked. I don't know how much like
You
we can
eliminated me.
I did.
I think you guys can talk about whatever you want, and nobody's ever gonna come after you.
yeah, I've
That Kyle Hill was the host of Mythbusters: The
in
Search,
2016.
Wow.
that's
The
when I-
reality
that's when that's
show.
when I met you. Yeah.
and he was the one who took me out back and put the shotgun in my face.
I told him to look at
Did you
the flowers.
rabbits? Rabbits.
Oh,
sorry.
just look at the 50-50.
Because
He lost that.
he gets both. It's rabbits and
Yeah.
dead Alan.
Yeah.
We've never actually talked about the I don't know how much I can talk about.
this
the
some, like,
process or
past
anything
trauma?
Like that.
I would
as
talk-
much as you want.
Yeah, I would send it.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing.
Well, I don't
making
know
this
because
up.
I've gotten some text messages from some people that are pissed off at Alan that I haven't told him about yet.
Oh.
And
Please, not Adam Savage. I hope it's not Adam Savage.
I have bad news.
Oh no, it's Adam Savage.
You know what I heard?
You're on the wrong side of history. I'll tell you that.
I heard.
I'm not going to say anything more than that. We haven't talked
Oh
about
my
this.
God.
And we're talking about it publicly, by the
Oh
way.
no.
How did you think that whole thing was going
I'm
to go?
done. I'm
fucking
toast. My career
No,
is over.
I think it was
the
a good
reason?
move.
What's the reason? I just know that you aren't a MythBuster. I don't know I don't know why.
So
I think
I will
this
say
is-
that
Nutbusters too.
your elimination from Mythbusters, I would say, was not my personal decision.
Yeah,
was
no,
it
of course
racially
not.
motivated?
No, see, we still needed a grant.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Of course.
Yeah.
I just bid on one of his. This is actually a nice thing that I'm going to say. I'm not going to juke hard left.
Don't worry, we'll edit
he's
out
go-
all the
he's
nice
going to.
things.
No, my partner was very good friends with Grant, and she did some Battlestar Galactica cosplay with him, and she wore his Battlestar outfit, his Viper fighter
Nice.
pilot outfit.
Cool.
And that was years ago, and then that went up for auction at this last Mythbusters auction that I think ended yesterday at the
Okay.
time
Oh.
of this recording. And so I surprised her, and I spent a lot of money
Whoa.
bringing back the suit that she wore. That's
Ah.
his. So that's going to be
That's
back in
awesome.
our place. And then I have one of the blueprints that he drew
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
for Mythbusters and stuff like that. But I don't know how we got. Oh yeah, so you were kicked off the show.
Yes, yeah. It was
Because they knew what you were gonna do in 2022.
Oh, it's they
or was
could
it 23? When did this happen? This is
23.
23.
Minority Report.
22, like the last basically
Well,
year.
now I'm trying to like so when so we'd have like morning meetings with the
Oh
producers.
God.
The discovery heads would come by and talk to people and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember the actual reasoning.
All I remember
why you weren't
Probably
going
some
forward.
kind
from
of
our
liability.
end, from the contestants' end, because it was a competition to find the new host, the new Adam and Jamie, right?
Yes.
And after the first like
Ostensibly.
week, I think you guys figured out, like on production side, that we could tell during the eliminations because the fucking cameramen would focus. They'd point the cameras at the person who was about to die.
just wait.
Yeah.
You're like, who is executed? You look
They
over
would-
the guns are all
They
pointed
would
at you. You're
literally
like, why
line
would
us
this be?
up, and I think after like the first 2 weeks, the production realized that we could tell, and so they started mixing it up. So they would just start pointing cameras at random.
And I did mess it up once. So this is like one of my first on camera, like big on camera things. And so I was trying very, very hard not to screw up the piece to camera where I say you're out.
Yeah.
Because I'd only say it once and then they would know, right? If I fucked up my line, like, and today, and then they'd have to react again.
Honestly, I think that would have probably made the show better.
That did happen once.
Alan, give me 1 second.
I
Pretend like you didn't hear that, Alan.
All right, get ready. Look real sad for a sec.
I did mess
Well,
it
no,
up
don't look
once
sad yet.
with the redheaded guy who was
Which
had some backroom.
Ben Nowak.
Oh, I won't say anything else. then.
Baby Ben.
Oh,
was that
Ben
it?
N.
No.
No. Who else had red hair?
The guy who was recently divorced.
What year is this?
Oh my God.
2017?
Yeah, I don't even remember
2016.
his name.
2016. This is a long
Yeah,
time.
so I screwed up that piece to camera, and then Tracy, whatever, and
yeah.
then she started crying. She was pleading with the producers not to kick them off.
There was no going back around.
Oh,
once
that was a
happened.
whole.
Oh man.
So it's closer to an actual reality show. It's
I didn't.
that was-
I deliberately did not spend time with any of the contestants
Yeah.
after hours.
So like, what if they were a really good? They could have been
Because
a
I
good
know
host,
this
but they
guy.
just didn't do a good build, And then it's like you're out. Sorry.
Part of it was that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when
So
it
it
got,
really was like that, or do you think the producers had some kind of like master plan the whole time?
I can tell you that they didn't.
Okay.
I can tell you like
That's
going there
probably
was
worse.
me and Dan Tapster, who was the showrunner of
Yeah.
Mythbusters for a long time. He and I went into it very like, let's do Mythbusters again. Let's do it, and be sciencey and I'm like, I'll do like the Adam style pieces to camera and stuff
Big
like that.
shoes to fill.
Big and I was nervous as hell. I even talked the first time I met Adam in person. I went to ask him for advice. I'm like, give me your blessing, man. And he gave me his time. He's
like,
very.
just smoke a bunch of crack. Like, thanks, Adam Savage.
That was his best advice.
Is there a guy who's like really stuck up and has a big mustache? Just make fun of him.
Yeah. Oh, I'm Goo Rambo. No, so me and Dan had this idea of like we really wanted to do Mythbusters right, and that sometimes clashed with what TV people wanted to do and have happen and have going forward, especially at the end. I know a lot of people were very confused about who got picked because demographics and age groups and all this.
You had no say in the picking. You just
I could say what I thought, but they're not going to go with me.
So they're telling you who's being eliminated and you're
Yes.
reading it. Okay.
Yes. So
you didn't kill Alan.
Well,
You
I
just
may
delivered-
have I
he-
may have said some.
He shot the
things.
bullet.
He
They-
delivered
shot
the
the
bullet.
bullet.
Yeah,
You
he
delivered
was
it.
just
He's just following orders.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, whether or not I said like, "Hey, he's a loose gun. He's unsafe. I don't like his face." He also has a ponytail at this point, which I don't want to compete with.
right. No, it was the bet. Cutting it off was freeing. I know that you.
I make a living on it now. So
Yeah,
that's fine.
I know, but
Yeah.
still, just someday you could be free of it.
Go
Just
back
know
and
that.
look at
Uh-huh.
me in 2016 before I learned like what a blow dryer was and shit. Oh my god, did my hair look terrible? And there was
blow
no,
what?
there's no
I
hair
thought
and
that
makeup.
was like for a split second in my brain. I
I
thought you
think
were
there's
gonna say-
something wrong with our
Yeah,
brain.
I think
Before I
that's
learned
right.
about blowing. No, there and for a big Discovery show, ostensibly, or a science channel show, no hair and makeup. So I'm this 20-something-year-old kid, first big TV thing, no hair and makeup, no safety net. It's terrifying. And then after the first episode, I had a watch party at my place. And then after I realized that they had cut out every 99% of the things that I thought were like the Mythbustery things,
Yeah.
like hey, while they're doing this, a vacuum cleaner up a wall challenge, I'm going to tell you about pressure and how the differential pressure between the vacuum against the surface area of the board can suction you to, all this stuff, or like how to calculate velocity from a high-speed camera, like Adam would do, or something like that. All gone.
No, yeah,
And
no time for that.
I didn't watch the full series.
That's-
You never watched the whole thing?
No. It made me sad.
I watched the whole thing and I died in it.
You just wanted to see where you went wrong.
Yeah.
You went out on the James Bond car episode, correct?
Yeah, and you guys let me drive off into the sunset. So that was
that
a
car
nice
was fucking sick.
That was a
though,
nice
dude.
send off.
What car was that?
Oh, you didn't
Like
ride
an
in that
Aston
one.
Martin?
No,
that
not
was
in the cool
first,
one.
That
Yeah,
was the
not-
first one. That was Sarah. Some guy brought a couple Ferraris down,
Oh, okay.
and we went from 0 to 140 in I think under 10 seconds.
Oh my
And I'd never
God.
experienced anything like that before. I was like, oh!
Big gl-
That's also the episode where I wasn't used to crushing people's dreams, so I do cry a little bit.
Oh, that's right. Well,
It was
'cause
all very
Sarah is-
sad and weird, and she was like one of the only girls, and I'm like, don't make me do this demographic
Genocide.
injustice here.
You know the cursed part about that is like TV is about entertainment, and they
Yeah,
thought
no,
about that. They're like, oh, this will be like extra juicy.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
She
Well, and
was
they know
the nice
who's watching.
one.
They know who's watching it. It's older white guys with a college education who are lean conservative.
Because they
And so-
clearly they're not smart if they still have a cable subscription.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Well, I mean, I've been told they're like, nah, the audience kind of finds you threatening. Because I look like a girl, or at that point,
They're too attracted to you.
at that
Yeah,
point,
yeah,
at that
they're
point, no
confusing.
facial hair, very pretty. I was a very pretty girl, so I could see that at that point.
I mean, the one of the winners, Brian Loudon, basically kind of just looked like if you asked an AI to like generate like a generic, like make a Mythbuster
make a Discovery Channel guy that could also mine gold.
Yeah,
if he
a
had
Mythbusters
to,
at
or
home.
find crabs.
If you ask ChatGPT to make a Mythbusters at home, Brian Loudon he has the look. He looks sort of like.
I mean, and they're
what
nice
that would
guys.
be.
I have nothing personally against anyone in the show aside from Alan.
Yeah, aside from me.
aside from
but
you.
everyone
But-
else
but it
was
was a-
a pleasure.
And this was like 6, 7 shit.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, so like this was a
2016,
different. This was a totally
4,
different.
7, 6,
This is a
7
totally
years,
different time.
So the
Yeah.
show's on its like 6th or 7th season by now.
Right?
Yeah, no, they never even finished airing the first season.
Alan, you
No way.
Alan,
Yeah.
you got executed before the apocalypse. You basically
Yeah,
like,
that's
died
true.
in the best way
The height of
possible.
it.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, before cable absolutely collapsed,
Yeah.
before nerddom
Uh-huh.
collapsed as a mainstay interesting thing, and before I have this theory, the last thing that we all agreed upon was funny was David S. Pumpkins, and that was October 2020.
Wait, what is that?
Yeah.
Uh,
David S. Pumpkins?
David S.
No.
Pumpkins.
on
what is
Saturday
that?
Night Live?
No.
What
You
did
guys need to get out of your
what
fucking
did we
Saturday
all
Night
agree on?
Live.
You
Do
said
you have
that
a
we
cable
all agreed
subscription?
on this.
Yeah.
In 2020, it was on TV.
What is?
I didn't have TV since 2015.
Can we watch it? Can
Chat.
we? Because it's apparently
You
the
We'll
last
definitely
thing
get
that
striked
we're.
for that.
Chad, you know David S. Pumpkins. I'm not going to do the little
only reason
dance.
people watch this
Here,
podcast
here,
is because we use a clip of it.
You guys don't remember this Tom Hanks little skit here?
No.
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 You're telling me that we
This
all,
was
as a
huge,
nation,
dude. People went as
agree
this-
that this is funny.
I don't
I
know.
just assumed Alan knew what it meant.
Dude, people went as this for Halloween.
Who? What people?
Everybody loved
if you're,
David S.
if you're
Pumpkins.
dressing up as like this for Halloween, you shouldn't be trick or
What are
treating
you
because you're
talking
too old.
about?
It's
Never
at Halloween.
seen
It's at
anything
it's
like
at.
What is?
You guys don't know what I'm talking about.
It's like dollar store Beatles.
Okay, so now I seem insane. I see that I seem insane, but I can
we
tell
all
you.
agreed on.
I-
this.
no, no.
Actually looks like a photo, like a stock photo in a picture frame
No,
at
no.
Target.
I can tell you, you guys are on the wrong side of this. I know I sound crazy, but all of America loved David S. Pumpkins.
You know what?
And then November
S.
happened.
Pumpkins?
And then November happened, and
Okay.
then the whole world went to shit, and nothing was funny.
Wow, I thought nothing could ever top Tom Hanks taking over NPR, but this might be it.
You guys are gonna. You can't. Oh,
We'll watch it
I'm
later.
so excited for you guys to watch it for
I'm
the
pretty-
first
okay.
time. It's not gonna be funny anymore because nothing's funny anymore.
This video sucks, Kyle. I think you can watch this.
I like. People were even doing like there's a bit. He's on the Tower of Terror, so the elevator doors keep opening, and he keeps doing stuff, and that's the bit. People were even doing that at conventions that I went to. like waiting at like Dragon Con, and when the doors opened, they did this skit in front of people.
Oh my god.
And you're like, please, I just want to get on the
God, I
elevator.
just want.
Dear
I have to
God.
shit so bad. Let me out of the elevator.
Oh,
And they
wait.
timed it to the doors too, so it closed at the right time. It was you guys.
Here it is.
You
I don't
know,
know
they-
if we
they
can
asked
put
me-
this like on the screen. I mean, we can if as long as we comment.
Well, we don't
Terry
need
on
to
it,
continue
right?
the David S. Pumpkins
No,
conversation.
it looks like we're doing it.
Okay, we're doing it.
Yeah, no, I could see this bringing the nation together.
I was saying, there's only one thing that's brought the nation together stronger than 9/11.
It's David,
David
S.
S.
Pumpkins.
Pumpkins.
I think that's
Okay.
arguable.
I understand now.
Name another.
I kind of
thing
feel
more
like
unifying.
we're the people in the elevator watching it too. You're like, it's going to be another David Pumpkins, isn't it?
It really brings you.
Why are you
into
guys
the
trying to
situation.
deconstruct obvious comedy beats?
I think because it's obvious.
It's what we do.
William, you didn't see this, but William was over here watching it like, I bet the third
No, I
one
nailed
will
it.
be David Pumpkins. Like, yeah, rule of threes, man. That's how it works.
Oh, so there are rules.
Yes, there's.
It's like the same.
That's a first rule of comedy. yeah.
Repackaged a bunch of different ways.
The first rule of comedy is that you do it on the third because it's the first opportunity to break a pattern.
So that was the last thing that like you think that people watch TV for.
Yeah.
After that, they're
That
like,
actually
nothing's
is what
stopping
killed
this.
television.
I think it might be.
No, because this is like right around like there was a nerd crash because right around this time that's when Endgame happened and was done. That's when
The peak.
The Force
That's
Awakens came
the
out,
peak of it.
and that was like peak nerddom. And then Game of Thrones ended, and everyone was not happy about that. And then the election happened, and then suddenly,
Donald Trump came in.
well, no, suddenly you couldn't be like, oh,
My
amazing.
favorite Avenger.
Oh, no. The portal opens up.
Well, like suddenly you couldn't be
Oh,
like
no.
everything is amazeballs and isn't Star Wars cool? And everyone's like, shit's on fire. We can't do this anymore. and there I think there was a nerd crash, and so it's just
Maybe it's because they tried marketing to nerds too hard.
oh yeah,
you
sure,
know?
definitely.
Oversaturated.
Yeah.
It's like
100%.
Marvel now.
Can we talk about Alan's relationship to Mythbusters being on fire?
Wait. I just want to say that
I mean, if you want to,
they asked me to be on Mythbusters too.
Really?
Way back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And
they,
they
I think
did
they
the
cast a pretty
rounds.
wide net. Yeah.
They asked Colin Furs, and
I
he
think-
just was like you just no, he couldn't afford.
They didn't ask me.
I think they really wanted me to be on Mythbusters.
Well, they asked me, and they're like, "Do you want to compete?" I'm like, "I don't want to be on national television and lose because I would because I
That's
can't
smart.
Dumbass.
because I can't build anything. I just talk about stuff in
I
cool
could
ways.
see though. I could see the writing on the wall. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it wasn't going to work out. And plus, it was like 4 months, right?
Mythbusters the search is like stuffing your favorite poodle when they
And
die.
then I said I couldn't do it. So you know what I
It was-
said?
it was
I told
10 weeks.
I told Ben N.
But I mean,
I knew this guy Ben N, and I'm like, dude, you should do Mythbusters. Like I told them, I'm like, hey, Ben N's really cool. I could watch him on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, take him instead of me.
So that's how he got
So
it.
how did he end up doing?
I think second week.
Oh, poor Ben. Oh God,
No,
I'm
he
sorry,
was-
Ben.
He still has
I thought you
nightmares.
could do it, Ben.
Wait, was he the little?
He was the little boy.
Was
he
he the little boy with the
he-
six pack?
He turned 21 on set. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was the sexy little boy.
with a six pack.
I mean,
Alan was the not sexy boy with a six
I
pack.
was
of,
I
of
was the
Budweiser.
less
well,
sexy, less young
imagine
boy.
this with a long ratty ponytail.
It
Yeah,
was
no,
bad. I
I'm
didn't
closing
take
my
care
eyes
of it.
and I'm vomiting.
Actually,
I
that's when I
think-
first met you. Yeah.
Yeah, with the long
Yeah.
hair. Honestly, though, I think like both of us ended up doing way better after the show. Like it's
Oh,
sort of like a
100%,
blessing. Because
100%.
you actually at the time were still. Are you allowed to talk about the whole thing with the Nerdist?
I mean, I can talk about it generally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I was still working at Nerdist when, and this is weird because all of us kind of came up and found success around the same
Yeah.
It
time.
was a
right?
cohort that I don't know why we're still relevant. It's like, why haven't we died yet?
Well, that's the everyday
I
struggle,
wish.
right? To
Yeah.
stay relevant in some way.
and our channels ended.
I wish I was died.
Wait, you guys haven't been contacted by those big venture capital guys yet?
I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
have.
I
think
Yeah.
they've talked to just about everybody.
I never know if it's spam or not. I
Yeah,
ignore most of my emails.
I've had in-person meetings now. They're
Yeah.
pretty serious about it. But anyway,
It's like, why would you want to buy my channel?
I would do it for
What's the-
$100
what's the
million.
scam?
I
No,
would
but,
sell my channel for $100 million, and they said no.
well,
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
it's so
For you.
bad. No, but so we all kind of grew up doing the same kind of thing, and then we found our own niches and what we wanted to do afterwards, and then cable TV collapsed and no one was watching it anyway, and it was the highest rated science channel show that year.
That's really sad.
Wow. Well, it had the name. That was the whole point. Was like the name. Like literally, I
can
remember.
imagine the audience retention being massive for the first 30 seconds and just plummets when they
Once
realize.
they saw me,
They're like, this is not.
Who's this little girl?
Because that was the discussion. Like we literally had a talk with Dan Tapster at the beginning that originally the show's title was Search for the Next Mythbuster, and then they realized if they moved Mythbuster first, people's TiVos would.
We know how to make the show good. He put Mythbusters as the first
That's
word of the show.
That's just pre-YouTube's SEO tactics, man.
TiVos would
what you do
automatically
now?
record the show if it was called Mythbusters: The Search, because the first word was Mythbusters. Anything that would record programs would automatically grab that one too.
Smart.
There was like hundreds of thousands of people trying to figure out why their team was full of garbage.
Why are we watching this little redhead almost drown in a pool? She almost died.
I don't think I was there for that one. I was dead
she almost
already
died
at that point.
Yeah, she had like a panic response where she just went nonverbal and then almost drowned in a pool.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah, it was pretty scary to watch, and everyone just kind of stood around watching it.
What, did we do something?
We eventually, she's not dead.
No, that's good.
Oh yeah, she's.
I still follow her on Instagram. I think she's still alive.
Great news.
Hey, good news. Consolation prize. You're not dead, but you're also not a Mythbuster. Sorry, my bad.
Bye.
That was the hardest day. Doing anything live was fucking terrifying.
Oh, right.
So
you had to
last
kill
episode was live, and I had to
Tamra-
kill people live.
Tamra and
Live.
Martin
Live.
Straight to TV live.
Straight to TV live in front of a Science Channel
'Cause
audience.
I remember watching
Terrifying.
that, and it was
Absolutely
like
terrifying.
you were with John and Brian, the two winners. Like, congratulations! But the camera, Tamra and Martin, the two losers, were still in frame the entire time. I remember that. So it's like
They
they're
just had
just
to stand
standing there
there.
looking extremely
I
crestfallen.
will say, I don't,
It's like
I think,
like a cut.
I don't think it was fully decided until the day before.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I think so.
That like
Hey, you guys want to ask me anything? This doesn't have to be just the Alan.
No,
Mythbuster show.
It's us.
This
It's
is his
about
trauma.
us.
He's working through right now.
This is actually group therapy. We've had a couple of
is.
these
Hey, man.
podcasts that legitimately just ended up as like group therapy with the guests.
It's been 7 years. We got to talk about some stuff, man.
Well,
Man.
so
We knew so little about the industry and about
You learned a lot.
how to get paid and money and opportunity. And it was just like, I appreciate being in the early days of Nerdist and being like at the nerd boom and doing that show, because it was like just throwing you into the fire to the wolves. Like, I feel like I could do anything now.
You learned a lot
Yeah.
of what not to do or what
Yeah.
to avoid.
Well, I
Not-
feel like
Traditional
you could
media
throw up a
sucks.
camera in front of my face for any science show,
Yeah.
and I could probably wing it.
because you
Yeah.
used to have like a segment on the Nerdist channel,
Yeah,
and that
so
was because
they,
science.
Yeah, so they used to air the show on their channel as like a separate playlist show thing.
Yeah.
But then we separated it.
spun off onto your own channel
onto
that
the
was
own
still
channel.
They
owned
own
by
it.
Nerdist though.
Still owned by Nerdist, which is and then I, for reasons I can't legally say, but then I left Nerdist to start my own channel.
You're right.
Because
Is
I
it-
wanted to, and I thought I could.
Are we
Can
allowed
we
to
speculate?
guess reasons and you just don't put any
Just
reaction on
poker
your
face.
face?
I'm on my. They're just gonna see me like.
Can you just make ambiguous facial
It wasn't anything
movements?
nefarious.
Can you tell us when the NDA runs out?
I don't know. I wish I did.
Because my guess is that you were fully in charge of creative. You were writing everything. Like you were doing all of the work, and they were just putting it up for you.
I think we were their worst nightmare.
Yeah,
'Cause
and-
then everyone's looking like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" And you're like, "Wait, this is bullshit."
Yeah,
You know,
so
that's like
then-
exactly like a real job, right?
Yeah,
It's like
you
do all the
were-
work.
I'll tell you-
Yes, you
you
were
this.
working
I'll
for
tell
a
you this.
salary.
I'll tell you this. When I first met and became friends with Derek Muller of Veritasium, and I went to his house,
He has a very nice house, doesn't he?
he did, and he had a beautiful wife and kids and multiple
money can't buy you that.
multiple Teslas and
I don't
a
think.
multiple Teslas
Wow.
in a pool, and he was doing ostensibly the same job that I was doing, and I was like, huh, seems to be some sort of discrepancy here.
This is some fuckery.
How, like,
The highest order.
like he's a massive channel, sure, but like, you know, I was just started. I had videos that did like 1 million views, like, you know. And
I'll just say the numbers that I know, right? Because I think one of the last things that we worked together on for Nerdist was the science of Mortal Kombat.
right?
And I
was
remember talking to the producer of that one. It was like an actual production because it was backed by Warner Brothers, I think.
Yes.
So the total budget of that.
Magali.
Magali, yeah. Beautiful producer, her work, I mean.
Oh, yes.
And so
nothing to do with her physical appearance. or the fact that
Fantastic
she is the
work.
most attractive French woman with a heavy French accent.
I
you've ever
didn't
met.
notice. I don't see those.
You
things.
proposed to her.
I proposed wait, what? A show to her where we would spend our lives together, but that's different.
Yeah, married but on camera.
The budget for Science and
That's
Mortal
good.
Kombat,
That's
I
really
remember the
good.
producer telling me it was literally in the like $500,000. It was like the entire thing, like $500,000 for a shoot that lasted, I think, about 2 weeks.
That
was
still
it?
doesn't
10
make
days,
any
10
sense.
10 days. And so like there was
we had full fight choreography.
there was a
stunt
craft
people,
table. There was
How
a-
was the money coming for that?
they had a
Warner
sushi
Brothers.
chef making
were-
vegan sushi for us at
for the
craft
game
table.
Mortal Kombat.
They wanted like a short series.
We did 6 episodes. Yeah.
With behind the scenes.
Wow.
6 full
Okay.
episodes
Yeah.
of a fully sponsored
And
segment.
there were real celebrities that came on, like CM Punk,
Daniel
like,
Cormier.
I don't
yeah,
know
like
who any of those people
actual
are.
MMA and
legendary
and boxer.
MMA people and
Yeah.
WWF
Like
people.
actual huge celebrities that they flew in for the day and flew out so they could fuck off after
It was
like
a
4
serious
hours.
thing.
Yeah, it was a huge. And so I don't know what you got paid. I got paid very little.
But knowing the production costs of that,
Yes.
and you see like our jobs,
We're
we're
like, what if we made it shittier and then kept all the money?
Well, 'cause
Yeah.
I remember I was brought on to just like help build stuff, and then somehow at some point while we were filming, I was in front of the camera.
What?
And me and Kyle were just riffing, coming up with science. And so like the next day I showed up, they presented a script that was literally just like, Alan and Kyle explain this. They had written nothing because they knew we could just handle it. And like we knew enough about what like was going on where we could literally just come up with shit
Yeah.
with like, oh yeah, this is Pykrete. It's got high tensile strength and it's ice like in
It's
the game.
Alan and Kyle GPT.
So it's like, yeah. So it's literally like we were live writing science explanations that were pretty
like,
accurate.
dude, this is great. we
no,
just
no.
ask a question and they just say it.
Well,
They
what,
just like,
I'll say, and I've been jokingly ribbing Alan here, but what I really like about like because we grew up doing the same thing and watching Mythbusters, we have
Yeah.
this like, this visual and this language of science communication already kind of baked into our brains, and so when you give
like a
and
disease.
Alan
Yeah.
is really good at this. It's like if you gave us a topic, we would then also understand our position as entertainers. We're like, he's going to say the weird thing. I'm going to kind of back off on it, but we're both going to be accurate and say
I don't know if
interesting stuff. So we understood that dynamic, and then we were able to run with it and kind of flex those chops a little
Yeah.
bit, which I like.
And it's unfortunately probably a really valuable skill that people don't really want to pay money for. Because it's like if it wasn't for that, there'd be no like all that money in the world, and they have CM Punk there. And it's like, well, what would they film if we didn't know what we were talking
No,
about?
and
There'd be
this is the
nothing.
problem. Like you've all probably been in some sort of pitch room at some point where like we're kind of looking for like a Mythbusters kind of TV show.
Yeah, it was
and-
only like
wait,
a
we've got that
cultural
show for you.
phenomenon
It's
for
called
14 years.
Nutbusters.
But they'll never find it because the people who are amazing builders are building and the people who are amazing hosts are hosting.
Right.
Adam and Jamie went through a crucible of let's get good builders, and then they had to become good hosts, and they did it over 12 years supported by an audience. You're not going to find anyone who does
No.
both who doesn't already have a good job doing
Right.
it.
that's the
They've-
thing, and
so you're
they'll
just not
never
gonna
they'll
find
never
it.
pay you like the amount that you're making otherwise.
When I came to LA the first time, I was like, why? And I was like, I want to make the next Mythbusters or whatever. You're like, why doesn't someone like Vsauce have a science show? And then you quickly learn, it's like, oh,
Science show's
zero,
crap.
zero oversight, and you make all of
Yeah.
the money.
You get to do
and
whatever you want.
and you have all the profit and almost no overhead. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
And no one's telling you dumb crap you have to
no,
listen
exactly.
to.
And you get
it's like if I could tell the TV show what to do, that would be fun.
yeah, if you had all the resources. But
Yeah.
I think there's
No, if
very
they just give me
very
control, I'm like a
few
benevolent
opportunities to do
dictator.
that. And I'm still pitching TV shows. I'm far along on one, and I still think it's
My
possible.
condolences.
I thought you learned. I thought you said you learned from all this.
I created this one, so I think this one's a good idea.
Right.
I think this one. I think this one's a good
right.
idea.
Because where does the
Everyone
money
tries
come
You're like
to
from?
do
Mark
that
Rober.
once,
You're just trying to
yeah.
impress your grandma.
You just want
the
Jimmy
only thing
Kimmel to
boomers
like you.
understand television.
If I was like Mark Rober, my hands would be doing something very specific right now.
Oh, you'd have to be doing one of
Wait.
these.
There we go.
Oh, I thought it was lower and more of a
No,
more
no,
of a round
fast,
shape.
fast.
No
Faster.
offense, Mark, but as
That's okay. He doesn't watch
as
this
someone,
podcast.
no offense, Mark, but as someone of the neurospicy community, I love looking at people and observing their like ticks and habits and what they do and what makes it. And Mark is his cadence is always So I was in my backyard, and what I was thinking about, would it be crazy
If I
put
started,
some Orbeez into a large container that didn't
Wow.
have Orbeez? So what we're gonna do is get to work. All right, guys. So it's
That
we're
was
gonna
pretty
feed
good. That was
Orbeez.
spot
That was
on.
great.
to squirrels.
no, but I'm not making fun of him. It's
No,
like
of course, he could buy and sell us.
Yes,
each and every
but
one of
everyone
us.
has
Right.
their
and
own.
we wouldn't even fight it.
Everyone has their own that, right? Like I have my own very specific way of speaking and delivering and yeah, I don't know how we got in this topic, but
This is just
You
how
were,
it
but
goes.
you were gonna
I-
create a TV show to
but I
be
love that.
Jimmy Kimmel's next best friend. You're gonna
I
oust
don't-
Mark
I don't,
Rober.
I don't need Jimmy Kimmel as a best friend.
I do.
Ooh.
Why?
Actually, I don't.
Why?
But so
Jimmy
you're
Kimmel doesn't.
So-
want
Hey,
to
how
do
did that TV show work out?
oh, Revenge in You, Mark Rober's Revenge in
Yeah.
Years. It was
How was it on set?
It was an experience. It was. I was a little.
Now you say some things that are potentially.
no, what?
What are they gonna do? Hire him to do something he doesn't want to do
We're
again?
not gonna, yeah, we're not gonna get a season 2.
They skip
It's
straight to season 3.
somehow there's just a season.
Thea,
3.
just be weird. Jeez, do some flips or something.
I mean, it was really interesting because like it wasn't a reality show in the same way.
Yeah.
It was still like non-scripted, but it was like overall a lot less terrifying because like we knew that we weren't gonna die.
Yeah,
like,
you
every week.
you would be there next week.
At the same time, though, it was a little. There was still like some terror because like they wanted genuine reactions out of us, which is fair because like none of us are actors.
Television.
But so part of it was like one of the choices was the producers on Revenge Engineers would never tell us anything that was going on until we did it.
Mm.
And so that in its own was just its own kind of terror because like we never even knew like sort of like how should we dress in something nice today or something
Yeah.
not nice? Like it just didn't matter.
You know what?
Are we gonna
What-
be eating 5 bowls of alcoholic
Yeah.
Cheerios?
Yeah, it's like
Hey, here's the thing. I wouldn't make you guys do something that I wasn't gonna do
exactly. And so
myself.
that was the biggest thing was I think it would have been a lot more bearable if it was
Yeah.
like safety third.
Right.
But sort of like, me and Stephanie and
Shameless
Thea.
plug.
I mean, we're on safety third. We can
No,
plug
that's a
safety.
joke, you dummy.
Hey, you guys should watch Safety Third.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him,
Maybe
Kyle. Tell him.
Check out the safety
Oh,
third
I can
YouTube
CTA
channel.
anything. You want me to CTA this bad boy?
Oh yeah. What
What's
would you come
CTA
up with
mean?
for call to action?
Oh, yeah.
my God.
Come on, Kevin. This is our
I was
job.
gonna
Sorry, that's
ask
like
you guys. So like, well, I have two separate things because as we all started out kind of in the same YouTube-y sphere, I think now I have more Venn diagram myself further away from you guys. So I would want to
making
know.
good content
On
or you
purpose.
Well,
talk about smart
I'd
things?
want to know what differences or similarities or anything that you were curious of me about because I have things I'm curious about you guys about. But have you?
I poop standing up.
I have some questions.
I poop lying down.
I have some questions that it's not about that. I don't want to know anything about
I was going to
that.
ask if you.
You're like the opposite
We
of
were
German
going-
men who sit to pee. You stand to poop.
I stand up poop.
in German, that's called a Sitzpinkler.
I do
Is that real?
I do
Yes,
I
they call them
sit.
Sitzpinklers.
I can speak German. I don't even speak German. I swear, half the words are like
Sitzpinkler.
See, it's just
sit
Peter.
pee.
Sit
Sit
Peter.
pee.
Majority of
sit
men
prick,
in a
spring.
lot of European countries sit to pee.
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Are they at work?
As if you need
I can see,
another
like, on your
reason.
phone and you're trying to like.
Anyway, so we've been going
The
on
dog
about
on
TV
'em.
shows and have you guys had experiences?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was
With
on.
TV
I was on
shows, good
Street
and
Science.
production
I was
company.
actually on the same time as
Street
think-
Science.
yeah.
I auditioned for that.
Did you?
I did, and I almost
Yeah.
blew my fucking hand off with a liquid nitrogen
That's probably
Oh,
why
like-
they didn't
like in
hire
2
you
liter
then.
bottle
in
or
the 2 liter
something?
bottle. Yeah, I
Epic.
tried. Yeah,
Oh, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think
Had,
I
like,
think all of
nerve
us probably
damage.
did that at some point. That's probably like some kind of It's like a great filter.
Yeah.
You know, if you
no, I kept seeing the same.
if you don't blow your hand off, you like advance to the
Yeah.
next
Yeah,
level.
you can keep making
I kept seeing the
content.
Yeah.
same people at every like discovery thing, at
Yeah.
every larger thing was always us. You know, it was always the same. You need the maker type, you need the
Yeah.
host type, you need the you need the pretty girl, and
Was
That was
you?
me.
Because it's-
That was
yes.
me on Street Science.
You were the pretty girl.
The other Kevin. Do you
Oh,
know
the
that
big
they,
Kevin.
the
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Because Science channel, or maybe it was on Nerdist, they did do one other Science of series. Did you know that?
was that guy that they hired?
Nick
to do that?
Uhas.
Mhm.
It was Nick
Mm.
Uhas. They did a follow up to the Mortal Kombat where it was
I didn't know that actually went out.
they had RoboCop, and so
Oh right, you told me.
do you
about this.
remember the punching machine?
I do. I remember you telling me about.
I built this
Yeah.
big pneumatic punching machine
that
for
thing was deadly.
our series.
Yes.
And then Warner Brothers or Nerdist kept it. Nick Uhas bought it from them, and then he used it again in the second Science of Mortal Kombat series, and he put a metal hand on it to replicate RoboCop punching somebody. Or no, Terminator. I think it was RoboCop versus
You
Terminator.
could put a metal mushroom to replicate the Hulk having sex with somebody.
A
Why would it be
zucchini.
metal? But then you don't get
Or
like
green.
you don't get the nice like elastic modulus of peen.
Put a watermelon. No, not watermelon.
See
What's
now,
the-
this is
Yeah.
the thinking that we were doing. We're like, okay, that
Oh,
people
soccer
aren't gonna
ball.
buy this.
The Hulk
Nerf
is-
ball.
In the
Foam
movies,
Nerf
the Hulk
ball.
is shown
They have
to
the
be
Nerf rockets.
bulletproof. His skin has at least that tensile strength, and his dick skin probably is the same skin.
It's like a gigapascal or something.
yeah,
like that.
so like if you're talking about
what
sort
is-
of like,
what is Kevlar? It's a couple hundred MPa, maybe.
I don't remember off the top of my
Yeah.
head. I don't know why you would know
See,
that
that's
off
why
the
we-
top of your
that's-
head.
That's why we were doing this. We're just because I look up. I research,
Right.
and so I remember weird things that I research.
I actually do have a question
Just something
because
scared
like
to research, and it's the strength of Hulk's penis.
I
Intention or compression?
I did a full episode on
sheer.
I did a whole episode on Thanos' anus strength.
Oh,
Would Ant-Man actually be able to? I bet he could. That's
Yeah.
like a molecular
I
thing.
said no
No?
Why?
because the rate of expansion that I calculated from the films giving a certain pressure of expansion, and then I looked up the ultimate tensile strength of human colon and referenced those, and then figured Thanos would be maybe a little bit stronger, and it's not all that much that he's expanding with over time.
So he
the
wouldn't-
pressure's not that high.
He wouldn't explode, but he'd still have like an Ant-Man in his butt, like a fully sized Ant-Man.
I think his anal walls are too strong.
So he would just.
Stay compressed into a little tube.
So you
it'd be
think
like-
that it would keep him? Well, is Ant-Man's expansion like
Yeah, is it
restrictable?
compressible?
Can't it be bounded?
I
Why
don't-
not?
I mean,
I saw this in The Boys. They explode.
Got that?
Yeah?
I got that tweet a lot.
That wasn't anal walls.
It was
because I think the Ant-Man
Oh
thing
yeah, the dick one.
is
Uh-huh.
like the space in his atoms comes closer together,
Yes.
and then so when it expands, that's like
Well,
some,
there has
like,
to be some. Well, yeah.
molecular strength.
Then you're talking about like
crazy.
the nuclear strong force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
It all comes down to something that was made up.
yeah.
That was my job. That was my job to,
Uh-huh.
to say, why are you talking about this?
Well,
because science.
I do have a question for like the videos that you're making now. Do
Yeah.
you still like write everything, or are you like were you able to find like writers, researchers to like help?
Still write everything.
Really?
Hmm.
Why?
Why not?
Well, because I don't
do the
know,
same
because it's
thing.
easier.
Someone else might get it wrong.
You could always like go over the final.
If
Like,
someone's gonna get it wrong, it's gonna be me.
let's go.
Morton Solus from
Full
Mass
send.
Effect.
Check
No,
this out, gamers.
no, I mean, I actually, since leaving Nerdist, I do have a full team. I have a couple full-time people.
Okay,
and,
okay.
and an assistant, and I'm a corporation. And we're doing all right, so I'm good.
But you still like do all the own like your own writing and research yourself.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think writing can be kind of fun depending on what you're doing. Like if you're.
Well, again, so I don't hide behind is the wrong word,
Mhm.
but you guys have different things that can carry the weight of many, many minutes where
Yeah.
you don't have to be speaking necessarily. You
Right.
can show what you did and how good that is. I have to be interesting and entertaining while you
Yeah.
stare into my eyes for
Right.
15 fucking minutes.
Right.
So what I say and how I say it matters more
Right.
to me rather than if I had some cool explosion or I was putting liquid nitrogen into a ping pong ball or something like that.
Putting an Ant-Man into Thanos' butt.
Yeah.
There's some airtime that it doesn't have to be you, right? So
Right.
you're not writing
Mhm.
as much.
Right.
So there's a different. So I take myself super seriously, and so I say, well, if I don't have that kind of skill to show, then I'm going to show the writing skill and the
Right.
speaking skill, and that's why I still. You should see my scripts. They're insane.
Do you just hand write them out?
I have a 3-step process where I outline it first, like skeleton outline. Then I write the whole outline on the whole script on one sheet of paper with cues and
With pen and paper and everything?
animation points and stuff like that. I
Hmm.
like the embodied cognition kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
And then once I'm good with that, I put it in a Google Doc because I'm
Mm.
in my mind, I'm giving myself more than one opportunity to find something wrong or
Right.
something more interesting or this, that, and the other thing. And I don't like flipping over sheets of paper.
Mm.
I can't explain that to you. So if you've seen my scripts are all on one
I like
sheet.
it. Scrolling is nicer.
Even when they're like 2,000 or something like words, they do I don't think I've been talking to the microphone at all.
No, yeah,
But they're all super tiny, and once I find this, I'll just scroll past the Hiroshima Nuclear Museum where I saw all those people die.
Is that a dick pic?
No, it's a mushroom cloud.
Oh, I saw what I wanted to see.
Scroll past Dr. Disrespect. Scroll past hanging out with Post Malone.
Of course. Yeah. Yes, of course.
Scroll past
Name more famous people.
Scroll past my buff ass girlfriend.
Hanging out with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Then her. Oh yeah, he's in here. Then her girlfriend. Yeah. So like I write like this.
Scroll past me flying an airplane into the Twin Towers.
So I'm still at that like level of
Jesus,
granularity.
that's like a
stuff.
cheat sheet.
Yeah,
for, like, a
yeah. Like
physics
I'm
test.
trying to put everything, all the equations on one side of a note card. Yeah. So I don't know. So that's my process. I wonder, as things have evolved, like how have you seen your guys' businesses diverge from like those early days? Like,
Oh God.
what is like the process? Like, what are you focusing on evolving or continuing to do now? Because it is outside of my wheelhouse.
Right.
Like I don't get maker bro views
Right.
of things. Like
Is that an audience demographic?
Maker
Maker
bro?
Bros?
No, I call you guys the maker bros.
Oh, okay.
We're the Maker
Nice.
Well, like
It's
I-
a me, a Mario of the Maker Bros. Well,
like-
Mamma Mia.
Bros. Let's go.
Well,
Rise
like-
up, Maker Bros.
like Derek is closer to me than he's to you. You know what I mean? Like in the
Right.
Venn diagram of like physics explainy guys,
Physics
know,
explainy guys.
physics explainy guys, more
Explainer bros.
Handsome.
makey builder explainer,
Yeah.
maker bros.
Explain maxing.
Yeah,
2 Teslas.
2 Teslas,
Yeah.
hype house blowing shit up.
Mhm.
I bought a big heavy cube. Give me 4 million
Oh.
views. Thanks. Jesus.
Actually,
Must
it was
be
very
nice.
heavy cube.
Must be nice.
A lot of work.
I spent $400 and then I made $40,000.
That was actually the greatest investment
Nice.
ever
Yes,
because
I know.
I bought that cube before they doubled in price. And I actually have a feeling that me buying that cube sold a lot
Well,
of
because there was like a bunch of videos of
Have you ever
other
held one,
people
Kyle?
buying the tungsten.
I've
cube.
right
held a
there.
small. I've held a small.
It's
one.
on the other side of that wall.
That I bought
I'm gonna go
recently
get it.
because I
Can we get it?
remembered.
Yeah.
I remembered the first time I ever got really excited by a science thing was my 8th grade science teacher, Mr. D, handed me a vial of mercury.
Mr. D. Holy
Big,
shit.
Nice.
big D.
Big
Nice.
D. You can't-
Oh, Jesus.
He
Be
handed-
careful with it.
Yeah.
Not for
is
its sake. For
Literally
your sake.
40 pounds. That's
Oh, that's so deceiving.
that's the densest thing you're ever going to hold in your
Yeah.
hands.
I don't know. I've touched you.
You can't hold
you.
it in your hands, though. He's too heavy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So the first thing that ever made me go wow with sciencey stuff was 8th grade with a vial of mercury. So I bought myself a vial of mercury recently because it's deceptively heavy, right?
Yeah.
You have this intuitive physics in your head, like
Like a heavy
something
liquid.
that
Weird.
size
Yeah.
should be this weight. But these kind of things,
Yeah. It feels like
blow
it's
your mind in
glued.
that.
Yeah.
No,
Like something's
yeah,
wrong.
It
Like it's a
feels like
trick.
something is pushing it.
Yeah.
Because
It's 40
not-
pounds.
But your brain is telling you this thing shouldn't be 40 pounds.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
I am
incredibly.
wearing a ring that can scratch it though.
That's fine. We
Oh,
threw it.
carbide.
Add-
No, it's pure compressed diamond.
Really?
Compressed diamond.
Hell yeah.
What's the difference between that and regular diamond?
Well, it's all diamond.
Isn't that just carbon? It's just a carbon
Give it
ring.
a little tiny scratch on the corner.
Give that a scratch.
Get the mic next to it
This is our special guest diamond ring.
So,
versus tungsten cube.
Can you do a K8?
Oh, yeah.
Scratch there. Wow.
Oh yeah.
and then
That actually did.
and then you just go.
Somebody emailed me trying to buy it, and they said because it has a bunch of dents
Nice.
and
Yeah,
dings
that's
that
scratch.
they'd be willing to pay me $200 for it.
That is mind. I like objects like that.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's.
It's just weird.
I don't think there is much anything that like cost wise you'd be able to put into that big of a space, like
No,
because even
William Osman could fit in.
Yeah.
yeah, but you can't really buy
Or gold, you know.
Yeah, gold is similar. It's
Very
very
slightly-
similar, yeah.
Pretty
denser.
close.
But if you were to make that like instead of 4x4, if you added 1 inch, it doubles in weight, and so it's like you
Sure.
you really couldn't even make that 5x5x5 because you couldn't pick it up.
That reminds like when and Alan's done something like this, like the weighted clothing anime memes.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
You run a clock any amount of time thinking about it, very quickly you realize that to get the weight of a shirt that's 40 pounds or whatever, there's literally nothing on earth that is that dense.
Yeah.
It's too dense.
Yeah.
You can't make a shirt
Right.
out of tungsten.
Did you want to put the cube down?
You could put it on the floor.
It's like, well, you have to hold the cube the rest of the for the
I'm
next.
being a professional.
Nice.
That's wild. That's very cool.
I can't believe
See,
this
now you know why
survived,
it's
too.
called Very Heavy Cube.
That is
Hi,
Oh, no.
Puppies.
Hi.
Puppies.
It's like, how do you title a video about a tungsten cube? Because nobody really knows what that means.
Oh, you're very heavy.
Yeah.
cube.
Yeah.
No, Shiloh, you're too stupid to walk past
Yeah,
the camera.
no, Shiloh.
Has it been an hour?
No.
No, I don't think we're still
Densest
going.
cube smashes everything, but everything is capitalized. You can't buy this cube.
My best titles, I think, come from when I'm sort of like angry at the title, where I'm like, "What the hell do you call this?" It's like, "Okay, fuck you, Very Heavy Cube."
I know.
Yeah,
and then it
yeah.
does well, and I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah, and then you'll try the same thing the next time. Doesn't
Yeah,
work.
it doesn't work.
Yeah. No, once you like when we were talking about production and stuff, once you know the back end of like how much money videos can make and stuff,
Yeah.
then you really start calibrating yourself of, okay, well, what could a video, does this make sense to do? How much money
Mhm.
should I spend doing this? Like, is it-
Sometimes you can lose money too. It's like if
Yeah.
you do a couple simple videos and then you dump that into a bigger video,
Yeah.
you could do something that's like,
well, and I considered like going to Japan to
Mm.
go around Fukushima for a week. Like I considered that could have been a loss leader for me because I
Right.
also just wanted to have that experience.
Yeah.
Right.
And it still would have done good enough, I
Mhm.
guess. But I wasn't expecting it to, pay for my trip or something like
Right.
that. I didn't go into it like that. Thankfully, I did have a video that paid for the trip, but that was actually an ancillary thought that I had.
right.
My my hairdresser actually asked me before.
You have a hairdresser?
I go to Supercuts.
Does it look like I don't?
I don't
have a
even get an
hairdresser?
appointment when I go to Supercuts. You have a stylist at
You want
Supercuts.
to
They don't
hit
show
that
up.
nice,
No, I
that nice
only
comfort
get her
zone
every
where
once in a
it
while.
doesn't look like
Okay.
you have a hairdresser, but
Yeah.
it still looks amazing.
That's why I go to her because it's naturalish. But she asked me when I was going to Hiroshima. She's like, "Why isn't it gone? Why isn't it radioactive?"
Mm.
And I realized a lot of people have that question. Like
Mhm.
it's the only offensive use of nuclear weapons, that in Nagasaki. Why isn't it a radioactive fallout wasteland? And that's a physics-based question. And so I answered that, and my thumbnail guy, it was right as Barbenheimer's coming out.
Mm.
And so he made the
Ah.
thumbnail it's a mushroom cloud, but one half is cherry blossom tree. The other half
wow.
is
That's
Pink and
mushroom cloud,
Oppenheimer.
and it was pink. The pink, and it was just like
Ah.
that just took off.
But your
and-
thumbnails are pretty good.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
pay someone a lot of money for it.
I was gonna
Who
say.
is it?
We can talk about business afterwards. I can introduce it to them. They're looking for people.
Oh,
but
actually, that would be
the
great.
point being, like, I didn't expect to go in and make that and have that be, big money making thing.
Right.
But it is interesting now, like we're talking about with Heavy Cube. They're like,
Yeah.
that would. I think I can do something interesting enough with this where I can have it, and it's
Yeah.
fine. And we'll do something.
I honestly,
Yeah.
my New Year's resolution for the next year is to stop doing what we call the mental illness videos, where it's like, when you get the idea first and you're super excited and you do the whole thing, and then you sit down in front of Premiere and you realize that was an awful, awful idea for a video.
You gotta embrace it though. So you don't necessarily.
See, no, I don't have those experiences really, because I choose to do something. Well, I'm not like
You choose to do
choose
good
not dog shit
Well, I mean, I'm not doing like experiments.
I only
stuff,
make
right?
it's easy. I just make good videos.
Well, guess what? I've
Skill
decided
issue.
that I'm not gonna do that
I'm
anymore.
pretty sure you have more subscribers than all of us.
My what? No, that's
No,
Kevin.
Kevin.
That's what I
Kevin
said.
is.
I was talking to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you were looking at Alan.
Stop breaking down comedy. It's the
It's
thing.
the
It's
rule
the
of
offhanded
threes. It's the rule of
it's- yeah.
threes.
Then you got to talk to Alan.
Don't
while
look
we
at me.
get
You
going.
have less subscribers than me. You
Sorry.
too.
Sorry,
I'm
sir.
shit.
Sorry.
Bow down
Sorry, sir.
before
Sorry,
me.
chef.
Sorry,
Is
Chef.
it? Wait,
No, but
think
I don't
we-
have the experiment
we
element, so
actually
I
have
can't
to-
have. I don't usually expect a video to totally fail. You know what I mean?
we actually.
Oh, this didn't work at all when I was explaining E equals MC squared. Oops. I don't have that as much because I'm not dropping cubes. You know?
is she
Hey,
eating
hey,
something?
you trying to finish
eat my,
that?
Just trying to eat my green tea latte.
Well, I had I have a video that's been haunting me for like months, and it's just a gun that shoots bees. Because
Oh, that was
the
a weird,
Emily
that,
the Engineer video.
that was a weird text to get from you. By
I
the
know
way.
because Will.
Killed
Hey, can I
Will.
shoot bees at you?
Well, because I'd been
What?
training the bees for like a week to.
Training.
Yeah. It's a whole thing, right? So it's like
Scientific.
bees can recognize human faces. So I
Mhm.
was training them to recognize and go after William Osman's face. But then like the week that I needed to film because I thought they were gonna die, William was in San Francisco. And so I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And so like I mean, kind of felt like as long as I didn't really have like a really thought out plan other than maybe swapping his picture for yours or something. But I texted Kyle like, hey, like, would it be all right if I shot bees at you? And you were down for it immediately, which is nice.
I don't know if I was like as much.
I think
I
you were
was
like, if I have
apprehensive.
to.
Well, because I have
Joke's
ever.
on you. I like getting stung by bees.
It's kind of my thing. I've never turned down any of your requests. I don't think.
Oh,
Except that
cool.
one.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I like Alan.
But please
and
don't eject me from Mythbusters.
Yeah, that's
please let me win this show.
Please, I need this.
I need
this, Kyle.
But so then,
Well, I think you do know. Wrapping all the way back to the beginning of the podcast, I think you do know that when you asked me to be Jamie in that video,
Yes.
you do know they did not like that, right?
Why not?
Who's they? Who's they?
Why didn't they?
Oh, he doesn't know.
I know nothing.
Wait,
I know
what
nothing.
video? Like way back then?
So
Like,
I made a video
You
where
were in it.
It's funny.
yeah, I made a video where I tried to recreate the old Mythbusters episode when they made a water stun gun because they weren't able to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I bet I could do it because you got to use goo instead of water. So I made some science guy goo, this white, thick, sticky stuff.
Viscous shoots
Yeah.
out of a.
So
Salty.
it's like the key is like the
He did taste
stream stays solid.
Yeah.
And yeah, Will was all the second Jamie Heineman of that video. You were
Mine
the
was
first.
probably worse.
Yeah, it was much worse.
Well, I
In
leaned,
multiple ways.
I leaned completely into it.
What
was
did
just
I
doing,
say?
I was just doing a Jamie impression the whole time.
I don't even remember. That was just I remember.
It's in the intro to my stream. Goo Rambo.
Yours was like actually mine. Was just
I still show it.
So, but I saw it as kind of a loving homage to.
That's not how you framed it.
Well, it was definitely funny.
Oh, like the shirts?
Oh, you mean the shirts that had
The
the word
sh-
Mythbusters on
Okay,
them, which I
wait.
legitimately could sell because I had the
I
trademark
think
to the word Mythbusters.
that's
on
exactly how I
shirts.
feel about who lets a trademark lapse.
It's
You
honest.
deserve it at that
You
point.
deserve
It was their fault. How could they? And who is Adam? Has nothing to do with that, right? So how could he couldn't be mad at that?
You know who everybody should be mad at? The company that let that happen.
It is weird. That
mean,
that's a weird one.
The
But-
whole
but-
hierarchy makes so much sense.
Yes,
Like, it's
but-
such a beautiful arc.
Uh-huh.
The Warner Discovery merger basically put Mythbusters
calling it-
right in the crossfire after they ripped Alan's video.
But then Alan goes, I think I can sell merch here. How do I draw as much attention legally
Yes.
to it as
Good.
possible?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Business god.
No, that's such a bad
That's why
idea.
you don't let your trademarks lapse.
You just sell it on Patreon on the hushy hush to your patrons
No.
and Joe
No.
says nothing about
It's
it.
because it's not funny.
And then you get to double dip by saying that
Your
this is illegal
motivations are
merch.
different than mine.
It's well, I don't think it would have been as funny if the same company, the parent company, hadn't completely stolen Alan's
Valor.
intellectual property.
Because CNN at that point
Stolen valor.
had taken the snake leg footage, and that was at that point
That-
was like
I-
So,
I
perfect.
see-
so they
see that,
steal
I
from
see that.
Alan. Alan steals back.
And
But
then
the way
he's
he
the
stole
bad
wasn't
guy?
even stealing.
He's the bad guy,
Right.
you know?
It was a little convoluted, and I still don't think it's my fault for
No.
Adam getting shit.
Uh-uh.
But
That
I can
is-
maybe see
Yes.
why he might not have liked the
Hypothetically.
shirts.
You know
We
what?
didn't realize that everybody
Stop
was
trying
that
to break down
stupid.
comedy. Stop trying to break down comedy, Kyle.
Hypothetically,
Comedy is tragedy plus Alan.
It's a better love story than Twilight.
The rise and fall of Alan. It's gonna be the next H Bomber Guy video.
I would
The
just
rise and
say-
fall of Alan Pan.
He hasn't fallen yet, though. He just keeps going up.
We can't stop him.
Alan, come back. You're leaving us behind.
He gave me a shout out in that video, that giant 4-hour long plagiarism video.
I didn't see
got-
that.
got a
Oh
little
no, I
shout
did
out.
see that. I did see that one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just didn't watch the whole thing because you would have seen me.
3.5 hours long.
You should have watched the whole thing.
No.
Well,
You
he was
would've seen
well, he
me.
was
Can't
talking
do it.
about like AI YouTube spam stuff, and I was
Right.
scrubbing through to see if
Let me tell you, when like my footage first popped up in that video, my sphincter tightened tighter than Thanos.
Uh-oh.
Because at first I was like,
Canceled.
Oh fuck!
You're like, what
And
did I
then
do now?
He was like, this is like a really good example because it was the Soda Steel video.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
taking someone else's idea and transforming it.
and crediting it, and I was
So
like,
it's- so it's
thank
fair use.
fucking God, yeah.
I have one. It's the how small of a hole can my cat fit through. I opened the video by saying I saw this video, so I'm stealing it.
And I was like, because I couldn't couldn't remember. It was years ago. I couldn't remember like how much did I credit the guy Cybershell, the YouTube channel that originally like broke that story. I was like, fuck, how much did I mention? How much? And like in the video, I straight up say like I first saw this on Cybershell's YouTube. I was like,
yeah, but even
Christ.
if you didn't though, like the fact that you're taking like an urban legend, like you're kind of taking the story
Right.
from.
Even that I think that's fair.
It was still like
fine.
you don't want to
not
be
claiming it as your own creative material.
No,
like
yeah,
kind
no,
of,
it's juxtaposed.
Yeah.
The next guy he mentions in that video is someone who took word for word from a book and spoke it.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
Like,
it was
verbatim,
like,
and it's like,
right.
oh,
and
that's
pretended as if it was their original.
or that they were crediting that person or as
Yeah.
transformative, where it's obviously not transformative.
it was
All
a
it's a-
scary half a second to be in an H Bomber Guy video.
Well, hey, you could always go for artistic nudity.
Yeah.
Art.
Oh, they just flipped that. Never mind. That happened today. Did you hear
No,
that?
yeah.
No.
What happened?
They reversed.
Twitch.
They reversed the new rules immediately.
So now you can't do artistic nudity?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I was gonna.
What
I was gonna
is
unzip my
artistic?
fly,
they
but
didn't
I
let
guess.
you like actually be nude on Twitch ever, right? It was
No, but you could have like a.
those were like where it cut
drawn.
off.
You
Like,
could have drawn depictions and stuff like that, like
Oh, okay.
artistic representations
Mm.
of genitalia.
Oh,
and
okay,
things like
okay.
that.
Oh, like anime characters
Yeah.
naked.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I could see like there'd be a stream.
1,000-year-old waifu.
Here's a stream idea. It's just
She's
it's
1,000. It doesn't matter if she's in a body of a 10-year-old.
It's a stream where you paint somebody.
No,
it's
she's
a
in the body
girl
of a
sitting there
1,000-year-old.
naked,
No.
and then she's poses, and then it's like, oh, all my viewers have to paint me. Like this is a drawing class. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no,
That's artistic.
I
nudity.
try to
Are
follow.
they actually drawing though?
I
Pretty
follow-
sure
I
you get
follow
kicked
the
out of a
Twitch
drawing class with a nude person if you weren't drawing. They like look back there. Just no, they're strict with that
They're
stuff
shaking
in
their
actual
paint.
class.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't do any sort of
hanky panky.
suggestive sexual.
Yeah, they do hand checks every 30 seconds. Hands up!
all your subscribers hand check. You have to like press. You have to hold on to the keyboard.
in order for the video to play.
Put WSDF. And,
You have to.
and put-
It's like a typing test. You have to type the sentence out as fast as you possibly can and comment it. Quick, Brown Fox, the lazy red
But I'm
dog.
close.
Too bad.
Well, hypothetically, I'm very sorry to Adam Savage
Hypothetically.
for putting him through that hypothetically, and also not my intent and
Is
not
it
my fault.
Woody
I would
Harrelson,
say.
who's like wiping his tears with money. What movie? is
Oh,
that?
That's Zombieland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, if that was the only thing,
That's
so
never
like
the
the cum
intent.
gun was fine. Then
Right.
the gun where I shoot the cum,
What was wrong with that?
that one was fine.
No, you said there was a problem with that.
No, because you're the
Kyle
one
said
dressed.
that he
You're the one
heard.
doing Jamie face. I wasn't doing anything.
They didn't like your
You,
video.
why not?
'Cause it was because you framed it as though Mythbusters fuck this up. I can do better. Here we go. While having all of the framing of you're using.
Oh, man.
Wait, did you say that?
No,
they
I'm not.
fucked it?
I'm not saying you can't or it's bad. I'm saying Mythbusters people don't like that.
Right?
That's
Because
all.
they weren't able to shoot goo out of a gun, and I shot goo out of a
That's-
gun. And I think
That's how I'm framing my next
Did
video.
it do a better job?
Yes, it did. Yeah, the shock went through, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it took a while. I only got to work with Jamie too. Or I mean, because the first one
Better
we tried
Jamie.
it shocked it tingled.
Yeah.
But then I doubled up the stun guns with Will, and then it really went.
This
And we
goo-
could see sparks.
This
It was
goo
really
looks
cool.
like what I used to use as birthing agent for cows down on the
Electrified goo.
I kind of like this. It's private.
It took a lot of
Makes my
control to not
skin
put
feel
more of the
soft.
Jamie impressions in there. It was pretty spot on.
It was fun.
How do they see it as anything other than an homage though? Because it's like
No, but because of the framing, is like
yeah.
they got this wrong. I will do it better. It
But
wasn't
so-
any of the other stuff.
That's so.
What
Is that
did get it
really
wrong,
the
though?
issue though? Is that
Again,
they-
I'm not saying you
allegedly
can't do that.
hypothetically.
I'm saying that
You know-
people who made that first show may not like when you do that. That's all.
This makes me realize that I don't know if did they get a lot of criticism when they were doing the show, because this kind of shit
Oh,
you deal
yeah.
with YouTube all the time.
I remember Carrie Byron telling me she was in tears the whole first week because
aired?
Of Mythbusters
one whole
airing.
week.
yeah.
Oh, from so
you're just
Our
gonna go
whole
ahead and just
YouTube
downplay
career.
that emotional experience.
No, I
that
On
mean,
YouTube,
it's
It's been
it never
6
ends.
years for me.
she was,
I was
she was
born.
on for 12 years. You hack.
You said the first week though.
But the letters and the comments and everything from the Discovery
Yeah.
audience was so
Oh,
harsh on her.
A letter's a
How
lot
did
more
those even make
personal
it
than a
through
comment.
her?
Yeah,
Are they
I
just
guess
giving her envelopes? Who sends
Yeah.
envelope?
That's
hate
personal,
mail?
right?
That's psychotic.
Yeah.
they had that warning sign on it though. Yeah.
Warning. It's
Warning anthrax.
Yeah, it's wrapped in lead
I mean,
paint.
they would
Wrapped
do
in
entire episodes
asbestos.
where
Yeah,
they,
they had
would
yeah.
respond to the viewers.
The fan
like,
response was huge on everything.
and then, but they would admit sometimes when they would redo things, like sometimes they would.
Fans are right. We
Maybe
did get
the
this wrong.
electrified gun did work.
And so yeah, I'm just a fan who, because the show didn't exist anymore, had to circumvent the sending a letter in and just doing it myself
and
I
make
think that's-
money.
Yeah,
You know,
it
if
makes
Adam
some-
Savage would
Actually, no, that
done
one-
it with you.
That one did not have a full sponsorship on it because
Still making money.
I was originally gonna pledge.
I remember.
I was gonna pledge money from that video to the Grant Imahara Foundation.
Yeah, they didn't.
Because I thought
that.
it was going to be a loving homage, and then I think
Jamie too ruined it.
Like
better
the-
Jamie ruined it.
watching-
This is also the first thing he tells me when I show up on set. He's like, "Don't worry, this cum gun is gonna benefit the memory of Grant." I'm like, "What
You
the?
find
I'm like, what the
Alan's
fuck are you
video.
thinking?"
And so I pulled the plug on it though. They still wanted to, and then once I saw where that video was coming or going,
Nice.
You can't say that.
because
No.
I remember I spent like a weekend at Will's house just like in agony editing this thing, and he helped a
Yeah,
ton.
see, and you so you put Adam and Jamie in the thumbnail
because it's
and
about
you do the same
Mythbusters.
thing.
It's
Wow.
about
supposed to
Mythbusters.
get people to watch it.
Yeah, fixing one of Mythbusters' biggest mistakes.
that's not
It's-
even that bad.
Yeah, I'm fixing it. I'm
Okay,
not
how does
saying
this
anything
start?
bad.
We're gonna have to watch ads.
And so
aren't
then
we?
I was just like, there's no, you don't
You guys gotta
want.
get preem.
I was like, you don't want this. You don't want to put any. Oh right, it's
Oh,
age
it's restricted?
It's age restricted.
Wow.
Not even for it's
It's age restricted.
because
The
of
tasers?
the feedback I got was because of the electric fence
Oh
demonstration,
my
which is stupid because you can
God.
find not age restricted videos that do that, but the
Yeah,
explanation.
Mythbusters did
Look at
it.
that face.
What I got back was that it was because we didn't explain enough what it was like. It wasn't sciencey enough.
Oh,
It's
okay.
bullshit. Yeah.
See.
The
I have a whole
Mythbusters,
video about
Adam
that.
Savage and Beret Walrus. These guys.
I mean,
were my
what's not to love
You're
about
already
that?
offending them in the
What
first
is-
3
no,
seconds.
this is funny.
I can tell you though, Jamie definitely didn't see this. He doesn't watch anything. He doesn't.
Yeah,
do anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Jamie's
would he
living his
care?
best life.
Yeah,
I think we
he's
definitely
like
assume that.
he's like making like autonomous landing vehicles for the military and shit. Like
I feel like
Yeah.
if he did see this though, he would enjoy it.
I don't think so.
I think he would get the comedy in it. You know,
I
He's-
think that they are a little more serious than us.
You think so?
Yeah, I
You
think so.
I don't know. I think Jamie would chuckle about it. He'd do one of these like
There's something wrong
Like-
with the kids.
his mustache would twiddle and
Well,
and then he would
think
light his crack pipe.
that's kind of the best part of the whole thing, though, right? Because at this point,
my Jamie
Mythbusters,
impression's pretty good though.
Mythbusters is like out of anyone's hands at this point, right? Like they're like even
Yeah,
Alex
there
like
you
did a video
Yeah,
about
look at me.
Mythbusters being wrong.
That's funny.
It's perfect.
That's
That's
excellent.
funny.
Yeah.
And this is Jamie Heineman.
he would do one of those. That means he likes the video.
We're gonna the myth is so we have
You're great.
that's an homage. That's loving.
funny.
I wanted to do like an absurdist take on it.
Which I think
It's fun
is good
because
That-
he's an absurd human.
I don't think like this take is
He's so shaky in this when I'm about to fire the gun at him. He's so scared. He's so scared of it. Look at him. He's just,
it's out of Discovery's hands at this point. Like Mythbusters is such a thing; it like belongs to all of
It's
us
just like
now.
it's like a bunch of kids making a really shitty video in high school. And
Yeah,
Discovery
like
getting
can you
mad.
imagine seeing a video where like a group of like 12-year-olds is
Yeah.
like recreating the safety
Yeah.
third set and doing all our stupid things and talking over each other. Would you be like
Do you
oh
think
like,
Transformers have sex?
would you be offended by that?
No, I would
or-
be ashamed.
They already have male-female plugs. It's
Yeah, we had this whole. We could have it again.
oh no, we don't have to do that. No, let's not do.
You know, Adam still came to open
Jamie
sauce.
too
Did he?
was Jamie
I-
really
I
starting
don't
to
know.
fall apart.
No, I mean, I don't think it's personal. It's more.
Do you think? Wait, is it like the production company didn't like it, like people behind the scenes?
Where's
I can't
Jamie
say-
too?
I can't say.
Well, I'm
Is there
sure
any
that he
Jamie
wasn't a
in
fan.
Here's Jamie too.
Socks with sandals.
It's like the shittiest episode of Mythbusters ever.
Yeah.
That's why they're mad.
No lavalier microphone.
The sparks were a godsend.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Dude,
you
that's
wouldn't have been able to
sick.
tell at all that this
Hell
thing was
yeah.
even
That was pretty
working. Glasses.
That's your leg
Glass.
hair lighting on fire. Perfect. Yes. Show their footage too. Yes.
It was a commentary.
Put it. Yes. Put in a little TV so it's fine.
You know what? If Adam and Jamie, you want to come to New Zealand with me and cut a pig in half, this is an open invitation.
What?
Wait, why do you gotta go to New Zealand to cut pigs in half?
Because they couldn't do it, so
Wait.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh,
They did a line snapping thing where they like snap.
Yeah,
a
but
yeah,
why
yeah,
in
yeah,
New
that's a famous
Zealand?
Yeah, that's where they have the pig snapper. Actually, I'm not gonna snap a
Oh.
pig in half. They won't let me.
Oh, okay.
Who won't? The government.
The government.
New Zealand.
New
You can't
Zealand.
come down here and just snap pigs
No,
in
you're
half.
not.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
let
Nah,
put
you
it
better
because
eat that.
actually,
You can't do that.
You know, I did a thing, right? The Australian guy
What did
who
you do?
built stuff.
Oh yeah, he gets all those viral videos on the tube.
And you remember, like, one of his first like big videos was him saying that we got it wrong on Because Science for Science of Moral Comment. Do you
That's
remember that?
him?
That was I Did a Thing. Do you remember that? You
the,
did a
the,
whole.
the big guy now. The like guy was like millions.
Yes,
That's
he-
that
one
guy.
of his starts. One of his
No
like first
way.
million view videos was the video where he cuts
The-
the chicken in half with the red hot chain because we did it wrong. 'cause
That's
we silicone.
him?
That's I Did a Thing.
We started him. Think about that. I did a thing.
You did a thing.
Not
I did a
true.
thing if you're
Not
watching.
true. I bring it up.
We are
No.
legally
No.
entitled to at least 15% of your income since that
You
video.
guys better
came out.
start trademarking all your
I bring it
merchandising
up
rights.
because
We started him.
were you offended by that? Because we did get it wrong, very wrong, and he was like, "Well, you guys did it wrong," and then he did it.
I wasn't
You know what?
offended.
Those
I-
are good videos.
I'm not offended. When I make videos, I'm more worried that I did get something wrong. And so
Right.
I was like, oh shit.
and now
it wasn't.
Now he's a better YouTuber than all of us. So
I'm just saying, if you do get
But-
offended
but
by
we-
that, there's
but-
probably a bit of an ego
But we birthed him.
out of your balls.
and
We-
Mythbusters birthed us.
He
Right.
would
So,
he wouldn't
wow.
exist without us, and we wouldn't exist without Adam
You
and Jamie.
are
None of
Adam
these
and
true.
Jamie's
None
children,
of these are true.
and
No,
you're
yeah,
also
no,
their
this is
least
true.
favorite children.
This is true. No, this is true. Adam and Jamie are Black Sabbath. We're like Metallica, and then they're like whatever modern rock band
So
is.
why would
I can't
anyone
name any.
involved with that show
Go
be
back.
upset?
Imagine Dragon.
You guys,
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Why would anybody from that show be upset because we did? You
The-
know,
the only
I would
thing
be
I
upset.
definitely
Probably
can
because you put
understand.
his face on a T-shirt getting cum on it.
Does he
Probably,
know that?
probably
legally,
that.
Legally, that is not his face. It is a
You know-
walrus.
you know
It is
the
a
conversation we
walrus
had?
wearing
You can
a
make it-
beret.
you can make
an
anyone-
argument. You can make an argument. It's the same thing.
I checked with a lawyer. You couldn't. Hold up
Oh,
in
wait.
court. It's a walrus.
There was a lot of conversations that anybody who tried to cease and desist that was admitting that it looked like Jamie would come on his face. You do not. You do
It's
not
not.
want to make that claim.
It's not. It's just a walrus.
What are you talking about?
It's just a walrus.
It's
gonna
a
say?
walrus. It is a walrus. If anyone wanted to in court assert any likeness, Jamie would have to claim that he was literally a walrus wearing a beret.
I'm so glad your
And
producer
even
said
if-
I get to say if some things need to be cut out of this.
even if he had to, even if he did say
Very
that,
happy
it's
about that.
patently untrue. He is not
we wouldn't do
literally a
that to you.
walrus.
I don't want to get a text from Adam like this fucker got. I don't want that.
It's a walrus. It's a walrus wearing a
Does Adam
beret.
watch
You know,
our
maybe
podcast?
if dad
I don't
texted
know,
Alan
man.
out, it wouldn't be so spicy.
But they're aware of what Alan does.
This is like
whenever
a
he
it's like a
fucks
teenage
with the brand.
rebellion.
And I will mention that I did a thing just recently published a video where he also digs into Mythbusters for getting the coin thing wrong of throwing a coin off the Empire State Building.
Oh, Derek did that too.
Yeah, but I did a thing, figure out a way to make the coin actually lethal, apparently.
By just dropping it?
By putting a spin on it so that
Yeah.
it cuts through the air.
It's
so
also
the terminal velocity
heavier
increases.
coins. They
Oh.
have big coins in Australia.
Oh, they got big coins over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big
Oh,
coins.
oh, big
spinning on the
shiny
side.
round
They got,
Well,
bit,
that's
they got
not- but-
bitcoins over in Australia.
Yeah, but that's not the myth then. The myth was off a skyscraper in America with a penny.
They don't have skyscrapers in Australia.
Yeah, the sky's too high out there on the other side of the world. I've been actually working on my Australian accent. If
It's
you can't
pretty
tell.
good.
Yeah, 9.6 out of 10. I've been told.
Can you say,
By who?
hey guys, how you going?
Hey, you say how you going, mate?
How you go?
You don't say hey guys.
I think he does. Okay.
Yeah, you
How
can, but
going?
it's more like mate.
Say that we're gonna go down to the
You know my
brothel.
favorite. You know my favorite phrase is. It's like when you say like, well, what else am I here to do? It's like, well, I didn't come here to fuck spiders.
Why did you come then?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's why everybody
Yeah.
goes to Australia.
To fuck the spiders? Is that how you get the web out?
Yeah.
Oh, here, wait. All right, wait. I have
Is
a
that how you
question.
harvest the silk?
Yeah.
Ah.
Pisses
I've
the
got a
spiders
classic
off.
because science question here for you.
Let's round it out with this.
All right. So
Thanks for having me.
So you're aware that there was a series where Spider-Man is an
Elsa?
old man set in the future.
The radioactive.
He kills Mary Jane with
yeah.
his spunk, with his radioactive spider semen.
Yeah, that I don't think it works that
Really?
way.
How
'cause-
radioactive
canon?
do you have to make your balls for your semen to be radioactive? Was what I was going to ask you earlier. Now I'm asking it. So could you put radiation?
Yeah, but
by your balls?
So the first thing to remember is that there's two ways something
There's two balls.
There's two balls. Unless you're Lance Armstrong.
The uranium is the powerhouse of my balls.
That's true. But there's only two ways for something to stay radioactive.
Right.
It's either emitting radiation as a radioactive thing,
Mhm.
like uranium ore or whatever, or it's been activated.
Neutron activated balls.
Neutron activated
Okay,
balls.
okay.
I do not. So that's when you think of the big ball of the nucleus. If you smash enough neutrons into it, they can stick and then become unstable. So you can make other things radioactive. That's why you don't build things in reactors out of certain
I
materials.
feel like that would kill the balls.
Exactly. So I don't think there's any. I don't think biological material can be activated in that way.
But it will still be in there.
What if you
No,
just?
it
What
can
if you
still
did
come
it
out.
right away?
No, something. So for example, when people got really irradiated after some nuclear accidents, their fillings in their teeth would become activated because they're metallic, they're higher up in number, but like lower down in carbon, oxygen, that kind of stuff. I don't think that gets activated in the same way, which is to say, even if
Like it doesn't capture
Spider-
any neutrons.
even if Spider-Man's balls were heavily irradiated, it would just kill the cells. They wouldn't stay radioactive or become radioactive. Now, if you had some material, say that there was cesium-137 in the venom of the spider that bit him or
In the
something,
balls.
and different radioactive materials bioaccumulate differently. So some gets washed out.
Some comes out in cum.
Iodine stays in your thyroid. That's why you take iodine pills,
Right.
so that your body's not taking up
Fills
excess
the
iodine.
holes.
Yes. And some like uranium and plutonium, your body will consider as like calcium and other metals, so it will go into your bones and your teeth.
I know how this could happen.
So
He was an old
there's
man?
just to tie it up.
He was in Australia.
I don't think there's anything that would stay
No, I
or
think there
become
is.
activated in the semen.
Not in the semen, but you said
the
he was an
balls.
old man, right?
Yeah.
So he has ball cancer. So they gave him the radioactive pellets in his balls to kill the cancer directly. And one came out and ended up in her.
He
And
passed
they
the
didn't.
kidney
he-
stone
he-
through his balls.
But that's not the question.
Yeah.
So
What's
you
the-
could
this,
inject your
spider
balls though with
bit his
cesium
balls?
then, right?
Well, yeah, but that's not what happened.
But he could have. He could have injected his balls with cesium, and then it would have come
cesium
a
killed her,
mixture of
No, that didn't happen.
I could get with that.
No,
Yeah,
you can't.
I bet that's what happened. I bet
This is
he
why I
injected
did
his
the show
balls.
and you did.
I bet he injected
Why
his
would
balls
he
with
inject
cesium.
his balls with cesium?
hold my beer.
Cesium
Yeah,
137.
increase the volume.
That's the
you
worst
know?
pollutant in terms of
Can you imagine the
radiological
first time you
accidents.
get
Worse
bit
than
by a spider, you
138?
turn to Spider-Man. The second time you get bit by a spider, your balls become radioactive.
Bit right on the balls.
Do you have any radioactive like collection? What's your spiciest thing that you have? Is that a
Alright,
radio
alright.
code 103 in your pocket?
I can't legally tell you all the stuff that I have, but yeah, I got some stuff from Fukushima, Chernobyl, a lot of other places. And if you want to see any of that kind of stuff, of course, you can go to youtube.com.
Wait, you never did
Kyle
art?
Hustle.
We're gonna cut it off right before you finish the URL. Is where the podcast is gonna end.
If you enjoyed this episode of Safety Third,
They
of
did
course,
not.
you can like wherever this is, share it with your friends, subscribe to our Patreon, whatever we do.
Do
We're,
a
of
parody
course-
of it. Do a parody of it.
Hey, we like to make money by doing dumb, unsafe things with the veneer of science education.
Third
If
was
you want to have the
wrong.
veneer of science education while making tens of thousands of dollars on videos that actually teach you nothing, make
Oh.
sure that you
Tens
like
of
and
thousands of
subscribe to
dollars?
Safe.
How much money you make on your video? What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
You've got a couple that
I'm
are
making
like
tens of dollars.
12 million, 15 million, something like
Dollars?
that. That's a couple.
Mhm.
That's a couple of tens of thou.
Oh, you don't know. You don't want to know my ad rates back then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was all in jest. I love these guys. Thanks for having me here.
God,
That's my balls.
I wish that we were the parody. The parody us is much richer than us, which I guess is part of the parody.
I mean, I'll guest host if you want.
It's not a parody. It's just a joke.
Oh,
We're a joke, Alan.
If you want to watch real science, you can go watch Kyle
To
Hill's
Discovery
videos.
Channel. you can watch repeats of the shows that used to be successful.
and hey, if you want to watch a guy who doesn't have the actual skill like these guys to build anything, and so is forced to talk like he knows how to build those things, That's youtube.com. That is going to
Yeah. Do we have the patrons on the screen? Do we still
I think
do
they already
that?
came.
They came.
Speaking
and
of which,
they
I
went.
already came. Then the podcast ends.